Behavior analysts rarely use group studies for verification of behavioral principles. However, your early work with monkeys and your initial treatment of patients, they were actually based on single subject designs. Can you explain how you later used group studies to demonstrate the effectiveness of the therapy? And what can you tell behavior analysts about the usefulness of group studies for your work?
Well, actually, there are a number of well-known threats to the validity of findings in medical fields. These include the great potency of placebo effects in the treatment of pathological symptoms, and these must be controlled for in any study in order to demonstrate the efficacy of treatment. In addition, and very importantly, and if you're involved in submitting papers to medical journals at this point, you are acutely aware of it. One aspect of medicine is that it is a business. And there are often strong financial incentives for fraud and the falsification of data. There is the related problem of influences being exerted on the conduct of studies by interested parties, particularly pharmaceutical companies. In addition, there is a long history of reports of cures that later cannot be replicated. Similarly, treatments are often accepted as efficacious on the basis of past clinical practice and experience in the absence of any experimental data. And the classic examples of that everybody knows are bleeding and cupping. The well-known case history is that of George Washington, who had a infectious disease, and his life was terminated prematurely by the bleeding that his physicians engaged in. To deal with these problems, clinical fields have evolved a set of standard experimental designs, and for specific fields, a set of accepted outcome measures. These are often at variance with what is considered to be appropriate procedure in behavior analysis. However, unless these standard practices are used, there is virtually no chance of gaining acceptance of new treatments among practitioners. Fortunately, it is really not a question of either or. Either you use a behavior analysis, single subject design, which is powerful, or between subjects design. You don't have to make a choice between the two. A solution to this problem would be to use both. This, of course, entails carrying out extra work. However, one considers that the alternative entails not being able to give a treatment that could alleviate much suffering and adverse conditions, then the additional research work might be considered to be worth the effort.